authentically peculiar, authentically peculiar, authentically peculiar.
Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. Welcome to Authentically Peculiar with Marcia, Season 3. I am so elated that we are going to be able to interview multiple guests as we are discussing the year of self. During this year, we're going to talk about financial wellness, mental wellness, emotional wellness, the journey to authenticity, overcoming trauma, and so much more. So stay tuned. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and even comment on Authentically Peculiar with Marcia on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, you can check it out on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify. Take good care. We'll see you. Welcome back to Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. I am so elated that I got Denise to say yes again. And why would I say again? Well, as I announced, there had been some audio issues in previous tapings, and we have to do everything with a spirit of excellence. So she's back, and I get to beat that brain again on how we can really help free ourselves from financial worries, how important it is to have streams, multiple streams of income, and definitely life insurance and how it plays a part in our now and in our future. So, Denise, I mentioned multiple streams of income. She's a mom, she is an entrepreneur, she has her own aromatherapist and wellness coach business, credit repair business, travel and life insurance. And she's going to fill us in as well on her own personal stories, what got her started in all these different businesses. So, Denise, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I really look forward to meeting with you again.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I know that some time has passed since our last recording. So, this one will be coming out much faster, like over the weekend. It'll be
Okay.
coming out. And so, I really want you to let's start with finances first,
hmm
because you have a story to tell what got you into finances and wanting to help others to better understand their finances. Can you share that with us?
Yes, absolutely. So it was in Lord 2018, I believe. A brother friend of mine, he had got into the credit business,
Mm-hmm.
and he had contacted me to, see if I was interested. Well, he was a godsend, I'll say that, because at the time, the night before he reached out to me, my vehicle was repossessed.
Mm.
I was in a terrible financial position at the time. I took out a one of those payday loans, which I
Mm.
said I would never ever do. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they say never.
Yeah.
And paying that back, and it just put me in such a bind because I was trying to hold on to the vehicle. So I took out a payday loan trying to keep it, and finances still was not on track. And my car got repossessed,
Mm-hmm.
and the brother Ghazi had contacted me the next day, him not knowing anything about what's going on with me is in that regard. And I let him know, I was like, and he asked me, would I be interested in joining his team in the credit business? And
Mm-hmm.
I told him, well, I definitely am going to need my credit fixed, and
Uh-huh.
I definitely need another stream of income. So I was open to learning more. And after I joined him on in his team in that business, I just started really educating myself, knowing how to play the game of credit
Yeah.
because you
Mm-hmm. Because
can't
it's a
win if
game.
you don't know the rules to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So learning that and just, studying. And when I get into something, I'm all in. So I
Yeah.
studied and learned how to, how the credit repair process and all of that works, what it takes to build and maintain good credit. And so I was like, if I can help myself, and I can definitely help others. So that's how I got
Absolutely.
started. I always say I started a credit business with bad credit.
But you know what? That speaks volumes because you have become your first customer. You had to learn
Exactly.
in order to help teach others about credit. Um, because, and I shared this with another individual that I interviewed about credit as well, how many people kind of scam people. You really want
Hmm.
someone with integrity working on your credit because they have
Right.
access to everything.
Exactly.
And so to know you and to know your level of integrity and honesty, it would be no problem saying, yeah, go ahead and talk to Sister Denise. She got you, right? Because
Right.
you're going to walk them through not only from professional perspective, but because you lived the need to repair your credit and understand how to build and maintain. What are some helpful tips that you would offer for people to, begin looking at in order to determine if they need to go through the credit repair process?
I would suggest going on just basic Credit Karma to see what your credit score is. And
Mm,
then they will also show you, what's on there, what negative items or derogatory items you may have,
mm-hmm,
and just look at it, because knowing is half the battle. So knowing where you're at and where you want to be, what your goal is for getting your credit score to a certain level, and
yeah,
then go from there and then reach out to, if you don't want, if you're not a do it yourself type of person, DIY, and you don't want to go through the tediousness of looking at everything on your credit report to see
mm-hmm.
what's wrong and what can be disputed, then reach out to me and we can definitely help you with that.
And that's so awesome to know that there are individuals that have a lived experience. So I know when I looked at my credit years ago and that kind of stuff, I was afraid, I was ashamed of where I was and
Hmm.
the amount of money that I made and still having credit issues.
Right.
And knowing that you can talk to someone that has gone through that experience, how helpful do you think that is?
It's very helpful because we've been where you're at.
Mhm.
I've been in those shoes of as they say, robbing Peter to pay Paul type of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, that
So
robbing Peter
we
to
can
pay Paul is like a generational curse.
exactly,
And I
exactly.
think that's what has to be broken is that failed understanding of credit, getting back into the loop. You get your credit cleaned up and then you go right back into the loop.
Back into right.
What are some things you would share with people to help prevent them from going right back into that loop? Do you think it's a mindset change?
Yes, it definitely is a mindset change. You want to have a budget, live within your means, because we are, a lot of times we're consumers. We just want to have a credit card, charge it to the
Mm,
max, and just pay the minimums, and that's going to really get you nowhere. So the
hmm
first thing is knowing where you're at, know where you want to be. Definitely pay your bills on time.
hmm
Late payments will sink your score. Trust me,
hmm
I know.
I
It
I
will sink your score.
Oh, yeah. So does late payment sink it faster than, I guess, disapprovals for credit?
Oh, definitely. Late
Okay.
payments are because your payment history is 35% of your credit score. That's the weightiest part of your credit
Mm,
score. When they see that you have a lot of 30-day lates, 90 days, 120-day lates, you're like a risk. No lender is going to
mm,
want to, lend you money to purchase a house or a car or anything if they see a bunch of late payments. and it definitely will sink your score. So you definitely want to make sure you're paying your bills on time. Put certain things that you feel comfortable with on auto payment, or set
Mm-hmm.
up reminders so for yourself so you don't get behind on those payments. So payment history, that's number one, 35% of your credit score. Credit utilization, that means if you have a credit card and the limit is $200, you only want to, and I recommend, most people say the average spend no more than 30%. But if
Mm-hmm.
you want to really move the needle and get into the seven and eight hundreds, 10% or less is
Okay.
the goal for credit utilization. When you
So is
pay
that
your
like,
credit cards down, that helps
mm-hmm.
to increase. That's one of the fastest ways to increase your credit score.
So if you have a $200 limit, you're saying spend $20, pay that back.
Right.
And that
$20
helps
a
to
month,
move the
pay that
needle.
back.
Got
Exactly.
you. That makes sense. That makes it easier, I would think, to think
Right.
about it from that perspective. I heard an interesting statement earlier today, and I want to get your perspective on it. A particular speaker was saying how money exchanges within various communities. And they said within the Asian and Hispanic culture, money exchanges somewhere between 11 and 15 times before it leaves the community. In the white
Mm.
community, 9 times it exchanges before it leaves the community. But in the Black community, 30 minutes from payday. What are your
If
thoughts?
that.
Yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts
Yes.
about that?
Yes, I've actually heard that before also. And yes, it's just amazing how as soon as we get money, as soon as it hits our account, it's pretty much gone.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not spending it. And when we do spend, we're going outside of our community,
Mm-hmm.
mostly, spending with others before we spend with ourselves. And that's,
Yeah.
and that goes back to being unified as a people. We need that unity, that love, that trust.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with self-love within yourself, within your family, and then it spreads abroad. So
Do you
yeah.
think the person that I interviewed earlier about financials, we were talking about it from the mental health side and breaking
Hmm.
down those mental bondages from childhood and really redirecting your thoughts. How important is it that we have a mindset shift regarding money and the use of money?
Yes, it definitely requires that
Hmm.
because money is a tool.
Yeah.
Money
Mm.
shouldn't master us. We direct where we want this to go, and that's why I think having a budget, because if you don't tell your money where to go, somebody else is going to come and tell it where to go. So, yes, it definitely requires a mindset shift, a
Mm-hmm.
change in our thinking, because financial stress is one of the number one stressors that causes, sickness, heart
Mm-hmm.
attacks, heart disease, and all of that. It goes in financial, being in that financial hellhole, so to speak, is one of
Mm-hmm.
the worst stressors, and it affects our health.
You said something that just really snatched to my soul. You said money is a tool. You
Hmm.
tell the money where to go, not the money tell you where it's going. That
Right.
to me is the most empowering thing I've heard in a really long time. Because if you see
Wow.
money only as a tool and not as a controller, you'll have
Hmm.
more control, I believe.
Right.
I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
awesome, Denise. Thank you, thank you. That's a huge gem. If they don't get anything else, that one needs to stick. Money is a tool when you tell it where to go by establishing a budget, by creating habits, by having
Right.
consistency and discipline, instead of
Mm.
it telling you where to go and how to use it. I like that.
Right.
That man, I'm gonna plaster that across the video because that's huge. That may help some people really have a different look about money
Mhm.
and how it can change your life, or in the negative or the positive, you know? So
Exactly.
if someone were to say to you, I don't think I can ever be free from debt, how would you respond to that?
You are what you think.
Mm,
So if you say you can't, you can't. If you say you can, you can. So that requires, again, a mindset shift, a
nice.
change in our perspective. Because and you just tackle it, as they say, how do you eat it? Eat an elephant one bite at a time.
One bite.
You tackle it, take your smallest debt first and just start working on that.
Mm-hmm.
Get that paid off, work on the next one, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and just like that. And it's possible to, and then you need some more streams of income, number one.
Let's talk about that. Let's jump
Yes.
to the stream of income first as an investment with life insurance. Tell me why it's so important to have valuable and understandable life insurance.
Yes, life, if anyone depends on your income, for their well-being,
Mm-hmm.
then you need life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You need that protection.
Why do you think it's so
Definitely.
easy for people to walk away and say, "Yeah, I got this going on. I'm not going to pay life insurance right now"? Why do you think
Yeah,
that comes at an
because
ease, especially in our
I
community?
think, right, I think that not understanding the value in some people's way of thinking, well, why should I have life insurance and I die and leave it and they benefiting off of my debt? That type
Yeah,
of thinking. But the Bible says a wise man leaves an inheritance for his
for his
children's
children's
children.
children.
And
Mm-hmm.
if we don't do that, we're basically living in vain. I mean, what are we here for if we're not making it easier, lighten the burden on the next generation?
I love that. I love that because I've heard that so much lately. Well, I ain't gonna be here, so what I'm gonna leave it to them for? Well, they
Hmm.
really want your offspring, your loved ones, to suffer um, unnecessarily. And
Exactly.
how much is it costing you to leave something, and hopefully with the right mindset?
Exactly. And then think about it like this as well. The state requires us to put insurance on our car, which is
Mm-hmm.
metal. Soon as you drive it off the lot, it depreciates. So
Mm-hmm.
how much, but they don't
Mm.
require us to put money on our most valuable, priceless possession, which is our life, our
That's
person.
good.
It's not required for that, but we're required to put insurance, pay absorbent amounts, 140, 200, $300 on a car.
That is like a whole statement of dynamite. Like, wake up. If they
Right.
require you to have insurance for a vehicle, if they have now moved into a space of insuring your body with medical insurance, why wouldn't you want to insure your life?
Exactly.
That's major. And if people took it from that perspective, my hope would be that they would honor themselves by checking into the various insurance products to find out what works for them, so
Hmm.
that they could be secure. Um, because one of the things that is quite disturbing to me is the number of people that have to do GoFundMe's,
Yes.
to raise money.
GoFundMe's,
Mm-hmm.
t-shirts, fundraise,
Mm-hmm. Fried
dinners,
chicken and
fish
celebrate
fries.
and all of that kind of stuff.
Let's
You
unlearn
know,
that.
and the thing about it is it's disturbing to see that that has to happen. I think that when we become financially literate, we understand a better or have a better understanding of money and its use and the best
Hmm.
way to move forward. What are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely. You don't want to have your family to have to go through that or not even be able to bury you for weeks and weeks because they got to raise the money first when you could have taken out a policy, had that policy in place and the funds, everything taken care of.
Hmm. They used to laugh at old people who would pull their little handkerchief out of their bosom
Right.
to the insurance man.
Nothing else.
Here
They
come the
was gonna
insurance
have that.
man again. But when the
Yes,
folks left, if nothing else, they paid for their services to leave, right? And
exactly.
didn't leave that
Exactly.
burden on their families. So you all, hear us when we say it is important for you to establish a process of one,
Hmm.
understanding what your most beneficial possession is, which should be you. Two, how many people are eating off you now that would need to eat off
Right.
you in case of an emergency, in case
Exactly.
of a sudden death? Those same people would still need to eat. And taking that into consideration, reach out to Denise if you need some help with deciphering, because there's a lot of insurance products out there. You want to make
Right.
sure that you're choosing the right one for you. So I'm gonna boogie on
Exactly.
down this road with these other streams of income. First, why is it so important to have multiple streams of income?
As we're seeing today, companies are going into bankruptcy, closing, and it's practically you need multiple streams of income, and we need to be striving to do for self because
Mm-hmm.
as these companies close, you get laid off and whatnot, you're gonna need to have some skills to pay the bills.
Listen,
You know?
if COVID did not teach us anything else, it taught us two things from my perspective. It taught us that you need to learn how to empower yourself for your
Hmm.
own finances because nowhere in government is going to come and pull you out regardless.
Right.
See, everybody was clapping about them little, $1,300 stimulus checks and all that kind of stuff. How long did that last?
Exactly.
With the cost of living going up. The other thing that COVID taught us was that it's okay to address your mental health, your worry, your anxiety, and your depression. And a
Hmm.
lot of times people slide into depression and anxiety simply because of their own financial situation. And
Right.
if you're in a financial situation, don't you want to be able to say, okay, I may not have this particular stream of income, but I do have this one over here that I can trust and I can,
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. You want to be able to have that available, you know,
Exactly. And there's a
you
quote that Warren Buffett said, if you don't find a way to make money in your sleep, you're gonna work until you die.
listen, if you don't find a way to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die. Someone asked me, well, why are you trying to retire from the federal government at 56 and a half?
That
Because
good
I gave them
government
30
job.
years. I gave them 30 years. What more do
Right.
they want? I'm not that boomer generation or the silent generation. I don't want to work until I die. I want to be able to live and exist while I'm healthy and moving, but you have to prepare
Exactly.
for that. You have to make plans. And those streams of income, I didn't know Warren Buffett said that, but it is
Hmm.
true. If you can make money in your sleep and you can wake up and be like, oh, yeah, that deposit go, then you've
Right.
done something. But if you waking up and you still struggling, saying, is it going to deposit today? I hope it get it today. Then you need to go back and reassess where you are.
Hmm.
How
And
easy
set up
was
a
it?
plan to steal away once you find,
Mhm.
your niche or something you want to do while, I'm not saying everybody, go quit your job. That's not
Yeah,
wise.
right.
Keep your job, but then have your side uh business and just keep building it
Mm-hmm.
while you're working until you get to the point where your job has, I mean, your business is able to sustain you and then a little bit extra, you know?
Yeah. And don't be afraid to take risks. Do your research. There are
Right.
plenty opportunities. I know Denise does travel. You do the insurance, you do the credit repair, and I know that you're a certified aromatherapist as well. So that's
Hmm.
four streams of income that you utilize in order to sustain your well-being and build your wealth, right?
Right.
What made you
Yes.
decide that you needed to have and to move those multiple streams of income into your life?
Actually, I was did the aromatherapy first.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was in school getting certified, that's when the opportunity with the credit repair came to me.
Got you. Okay.
So I was really focused on my aromatherapy
Mm-hmm.
and at that time. And then I saw, the need. And I mean, you need credit for pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll ease some of the financial stress that, I see some of my aromatherapy clients stressed out due to, finances, or they can't get approved because their credit isn't right. So it kind of health and wealth, it goes hand in hand. So
Absolutely.
that's where it started. But at that time I was really focused on that. But as I was in my situation, I needed another stream, another source, to get my credit together, number one, and to have
Mm-hmm.
that additional streams of income.
I love it. I mean, because our lived experience, you either gonna have some talk sense or you gonna have some bulk sense. You
Right.
learn by teaching or you gonna pay it. And
Exactly.
that's the thing that we have to understand about money is in our community, we do have to have a mindset shift. We have to not
Mhm.
be so loyal to these jobs that have no problem
Right.
filing bankruptcy because they have a credit outlet. They have a way to escape the damage, but they don't care about how they leave you. I was looking today and I saw
Exactly.
that Red Lobster and Walgreens and a couple other
Hmm.
places, major businesses are shutting down. It's like,
Shutting
well,
down.
it's almost like it's an exodus that's occurring.
Right. It's yes, it's definitely
And
the fall of America. That's what we're
exactly.
experiencing.
How important
Yes.
is it to be in the know about finances and just planning for your future?
Yeah, you definitely, if you don't have a plan, we don't we don't fail to plan. We don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Right.
Exactly.
So
Hmm.
that you definitely need a plan. And it's
Hmm.
also scriptures and relates to that. Write the vision and make it plain.
Make it
That's
plain.
a plan.
That's it. And a lot of people think that, the name it, claim it, speak it, see it, and all that doesn't work. No, write the vision, make it plain so those that read it can run with it.
Run with it.
But if you never have a vision and you don't write it out, you just travel in circles like the children did in the wilderness for
Right.
40 years for a 2-day hike,
Right.
aimlessly wandering.
And that also shows you that if you're writing it down so that others can see it, that see it can run with it, that means you need
Yeah,
a
yeah.
team of people working with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's key to be successful and to create. When we're thinking of residual income, when you're
Mm-hmm.
introducing somebody to, a business, they come in, say with what I do in the insurance industry, there's also the business opportunity side of it in building
Mm-hmm.
a brokerage. So if I have a team of agents, I not only benefit from the work I put in, I benefit from the work they put in because I trained them. So
Exactly.
that's creating residual income and
Mm-hmm.
bonuses for being a leader. So yes, ma'am. A team, it takes a team Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. And that's the thing is really identifying the best way to move forward so that you
Mhm.
can be your best self.
Right.
I just want to say thank you because you dropped a lot of gems in just a
Thank
short
you.
period of time, right? Because we knew we was on a little time crunch today,
Right.
and so, but you dropped a lot of gems. What would be some words of wisdom that you would leave with the audience today?
I would say, in regards to finances, look at where you're at, especially with your credit score. That's your most important number to know when it comes to, finances, because everything that we do today, they're pretty much looking at your credit. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to be an entrepreneur, start a business, get business funding, they're going to look at your personal credit first to
Mm-hmm.
see how you maintain.
Yeah,
So know what your score is and then reach out for help. It's don't be ashamed of where you are because a lot of people don't say anything because they're ashamed. Things
yeah,
happen. It doesn't make you a bad person, but once we know better, we have to do better.
absolutely. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to be true to who we are in order for us to really be our best self. Listen, go out to social media and pull up Denise R. Muhammad on all social media sites. I'm about to grab all of her um, website information and
Thank
put it
you.
out there. And of course, it's going to be a part of the um, the information that we give to you. But I want you to go out there because Denise is phenomenal with loading information. You can always go check her out at myfes.net/dmuhammad6. You can go to her Facebook group. If you type in Denise Renee Muhammad,
Denise Renee Muhammad.
you're gonna get all her stuff.
All my
You're
yes.
gonna get all of it because it's under her name. Um, and that way you can begin to educate yourself. Reach out to her. Let her guide you. I believe that she has a spirit of integrity that you could utilize in the wisdom and the knowledge that will come from that. I believe that she'll walk you through each of the processes. And then if
Right.
you become a team member, more so income for you all, right? So
Exactly.
work on that. Thank you again, Denise, so very much for taking time out of your day and letting us re-record. And I
Yes, you're welcome.
hope that people will listen and especially grab those gems that you have provided today so that lives can be changed. So until
Thank
next
you.
time, thank you again for joining us on Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. We're so glad that you're here, but don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share so that the word can get out. We need a word like this coming into our lives so that we can change our financial situation and better ourselves. So take good care, and we'll see you soon.